Welcome to the Fit 15 podcast show, where you'll find health and fitness inspiration, motivation, and information shared in 15-minute episodes. Tune in while getting a move on to make leading and enjoying the benefits of a healthy lifestyle almost too easy. It's the Fit 15. And now your host, Catherine Basu.
Welcome to the Fit 15 podcast show. I'm your host, Catherine Basu. And today on the show, I'm joined by an awesome guest who's going to help us work on our goal setting skills. Let me tell you, as someone who's worked in the industry for over a decade, my most successful clients have always been those who set realistic goals. So if you've been struggling to reach a goal in your personal fitness journey or healthy lifestyle journey, I know you're going to get a lot of value out of today's episode if you put the tips into action. So I hope you're as excited as I am for today's episode, and let me introduce you to my guest. My guest today is Debra Eckerling. She is a project catalyst who works with individuals and small businesses to strategize, set goals, and manage their projects. She created a process called the Deb method, which is goal setting simplified. Deb is also the founder of Write On Online, a website and community for writers, creatives, and entrepreneurs. The host of the hashtag Goal Chat Twitter chat, which takes place Sunday nights at 7 p.m. on Twitter. And the author of Write On Blogging, 51 Tips to Create, Write, and Promote Your Blog. So welcome to the podcast, Deb. I'm so excited to have you as my guest today.
Well, thank you. I'm thrilled to be here.
So goal setting is important for fitness and in general. So definitely, maybe we could take things general at first. So what are some of your best tips for?
Okay, we'll start with an easy one, huh? The world is your oyster. The biggest tip I have for setting goals just across the board is you need to make it realistic. Mm-hmm. You need to figure out what is manageable for you and your schedule before jumping into it. Because if you set yourself up for success off the bat, you're going to do great. But if you bite off more than you can chew, you're going to go nuts in your head. You're going to be like, no, I can't do this. And then you're just setting yourself up to fail. And we don't want failure. We want wins. And they can be small wins, but they need to be wins. You know?
Mm-hmm. No, I definitely agree. Small is better. So when you work with someone on their goals, do you try to have them do a big goal at first and then break it down into smaller chunks, or do you just work on small chunks? What do you kind of recommend for that?
Well, it starts with the mission. You know, the D and the Deb method is determine your mission, because unless you know what you want, big picture, nothing else is going to matter. You need to figure out the purpose for whatever you're doing, which is, you know, whether it's a fitness goal and you want to be a certain size, or you want to have a healthier lifestyle, or in the case of most of my clients, you want to write a book or start a blog or start a podcast. Mm-hmm. You need to start with your mission. What is it you want to accomplish? Where do you see yourself? And then what do you need to do to get there? Mm-hmm. And once you have the mission, the rest of your goals fall from there, because you can say, okay, I want to be a leader in my field. Great. Because your mission to be a leader in your field, because you want to share your expertise with the world to help them, well, in your case, be healthier, right? Mm-hmm. So once you have that mission, everything you do dives into it. So everything you do, we'll use you as an example, is to help people eat better, work out, have a healthier lifestyle. So if you're looking at your goals and you're writing them all down, each one that you pursue should in some way, shape, or form reflect your mission, move your mission forward. Mm-hmm. And that's really the best way to stay focused.
Love that. So obviously we have to take a step back here and ask about what the Deb method is and what the other letters stand for.
Okay, well, I already said that D is determine your mission. Mm-hmm. So the E is explore your options. So you figure out what it is that you want, and then figure out the different ways that you can get there. So as I mentioned before, you're an expert. You want to share your knowledge with the world, you look at your options. Am I going to write a book? Am I going to start a blog? Am I going to go on a speaking tour? And that's just 3. But in this step of the 3, you want to think of as many different things as possible that you can do for your options, because that's going to be the best way to narrow it down. Dump everything out of your head and then go through it again and think about what it is you keep saying, what you're most drawn to. And then once you get there, you figure out, which goals you're going to start with, which is usually like a large professional and a large personal goal, and then what smaller short-term goals go into it. And then you brainstorm your path. You figure out what steps will it take to reach the short-term goals, which lead to the long-term goals.
Mm-hmm.
That make sense?
Yeah, I love that. So kind of having it purpose-driven and then breaking it down into action items, but then actually, not having to do all those at once, but trying to make a path to get there.
Well, and this is the thing with brainstorming, and a lot of my exercises revolve around journaling and brainstorming, because if you try and figure out what you need to do in your head, it's never going to work because you cannot look inside. When you write things down and you look at them objectively, you are better able to figure out what it is that you want. I have this exercise that I love. I call it directed journaling. And it's basically, and you love 15 minutes, I love 15 minutes too. It's to schedule, let's say 3 to 5 to 7 15-minute appointments with yourself over the course of a week or 2.
Okay.
And during that time, you just sit down, and you can use a computer if you type more, or you can use paper if you do the handwritten, because it's just whichever way you function better, choose one. And then you set a timer, and for 15 minutes, all you're writing is about what you're trying to figure out. So if you want to live a healthier lifestyle, then I want you journaling about, okay, what do I need to do? I really need to eat more vegetables.
Did you set a goal to walk with us for 15 minutes? If so, that is your halfway point reminder you want to turn around now. All right, back to Deb.
Well, to eat more vegetables, I should go to the farmer's market, or I should go there, or what other places have good local source food? Oh, and then I should learn to cook, and on and on and on. And what you do is you do this as many times as you need, but the key is not to look at your journal until after you've done a few of these sessions. So then when you go back and read it, you can see objectively what you've mentioned over and over again. Because the things that are at the forefront of your mind, the things that you're journaling about more, those are the things you're going to do because it is top of mind. And they're the ones that are most important to you.
I love that, because often when we sit down and write, we're in a different mindset on a different given day, right? So that's good to be able to pull those out. I wonder if you recommend, Deb, I know for, one of the reasons why I'm so obsessed with 15 minutes of fitness as a thing for the podcast and in general is just like, if you're able to get away and just like do 15 minutes of even walking, you're able to come back with more focus and more creativity. So do you ever recommend like any strategies, whether it's getting moving or something else before they go and sit down to start writing out their different options?
It depends. The reason I choose 15 minutes is similar to you. Everybody can find 15 minutes. You can. Days are crazy, but you can always sit and breathe for 15 minutes. And maybe you need the first 5 minutes to meditate or to walk around the block. I look at these journaling times as like pockets of time that what else would you be doing? If you choose one time a day instead of, and I love social media, so this is nothing against social media, but one of the 15-minute increments when you be on social media, instead take the time to write or walk around the block once or twice or meditate or listen to music. Again, it's whatever works for you, whatever you're going to do that's going to put you in the right frame of mind to pursue and achieve your goals. that's what you need to do. And a lot of it's trial and error. I work with a lot of writers or people who want to be writers, and they always say, what's the best time of day to write? Well, what time of day is the best for you? Figure it out. Try different times of day. Maybe you're a morning person. Maybe you're a night person. Maybe you only have 15 minutes during lunch where you can work on something consistently. That's fine. You will only figure out your best processes if you try different things.
No, that's definitely true. I get that question for fitness. When's the best time to work out? And I have the same answer. Whenever you're actually going to do it, right?
And the other thing that I touched on briefly, I want to get back to is I said to set a timer before you're doing these sessions. And I think it's great for working out too. If you're setting a timer, you're not looking at your watch. You're focusing on your writing or your workout or your whatever. And you don't have to worry about when the time's up. You can just be in the zone and get as far as you can in the amount of time you have to schedule it within your day.
Yeah, no, that's definitely a good tip. So I know we've said a few examples for fitness, but do you have any tips for how people could apply the Deb method to their fitness or healthy lifestyle goals?
Well, just as I said before, start with your mission. Do your directed journaling and figure out your mission. Why do you want to work out? Because everybody has like an extra reason. It's not just to be healthy. You know, if you want to fit into that dress that you love that you haven't been able to wear for 2 years, right?
Yep.
Or you want to be able to go out dancing and not be winded. And the best way to do that is to work up your stamina. So figure out why it is you want to have that fitness goal. Then you go in to explore your options. Think of the ways that you can make that happen. And this is, if you don't want to do, or in addition to the directed journaling, it's the brainstorming. Write a list. When you brainstorm, your list, though, should be at least 20 items, because the first 5 things that come to mind are already in your mind. And the second 5, they're pretty close to your top of mind as well. But it is until you get to 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20 that you really have to think about it. And sometimes you just go with the early items on the list, but other times it's like number 19, wow, I'm glad I gave this the time, or I never would have come up with that.
I love that advice and strategy, because I've definitely had people who have come to me looking for help reaching their fitness or healthy lifestyle goals. And what was happening in the past when we dig into it is that they were just trying the same strategy and solution over and over because they thought it should work, and that the problem was just them not being able to be successful at implementing that strategy. But I love that idea of how we can try something different and it could actually make goal setting and reaching our goals exciting even, right? Versus like a grind, because it's what comes first.
And just to bring the brainstorm your path into it, so let's say you decide on exercise. Exercise is your best option to be healthy. So then write out all the different things you can do for exercise. And maybe it's not the same thing every week. I practice Aikido on Sundays, and I take a hip hop class on Tuesdays. And then sometimes can you think of 2 more disparate types of activity? And then usually on Friday or Saturday, I try and do something walking. So it's like 3 days a week, I have some sort of a healthy something or other in my life. But there are lots of different options for fitness, eating well, healthy lifestyle. Try different things. I know someone who 1 year her goal was she was going to try a different fitness activity every month. And then when she got to when she stopped, I think in April or May. But you don't know what you like until you try it. So try lots of things.
No, that's definitely true. Or even trying them again. I find, even for myself, there's things I didn't like in the fitness world at first and then tried them again. Unfortunately, several years later. So I wish I had tried some of them again sooner because I really enjoy them. But yeah, not to write them off forever. So.
Absolutely. And people are always inventing the weirdest forms of exercise.
Yep.
So those are kind of cool too. In the same thing with exercise and goals, it doesn't matter what your goals are. Whatever you're working on should be fun. Because if it's not fun, you're not going to enjoy it. And if you don't enjoy it, it's going to be painful. And then you're spiraling a different way.
Yeah, no, I definitely have seen that happen before. So totally agree. Well, I'm really excited to share the DEB method with our listeners. Any last, key points just to get people thinking about it? I mean, maybe you could touch on this. One thing I think about a lot is just that the first step of, figuring out your mission there is so important, because I think you have to dig a little deeper. At least what I found with clients that were successful, it can't just be, losing 5 pounds for the reunion or whatever. It has to be a little bit more connected to your personal mission. Do you have any thoughts on that, or just the goal setting process in general that we should really make sure we keep in mind?
Well, I would say once you figure out your mission, because sometimes your missions could be very, very lengthy, I'd say turn it into a motto. Make it something like the DEB method is goal setting simplified. Mm-hmm. That is just the mission. So everything that I do with this program is simple. Mm-hmm. It's, of course, simple doesn't necessarily mean easy, but when I think about the content I create for my site, my workshops, when I'm working, and it's chicken and egg, because I've developed this because of the way that I've worked with my clients over the years. And goal setting should be easy. It should be things that you want, that you're drawn to in your life. So figure out what your mission is, make it fun, make it perky, and then post it along with your goals somewhere where you're going to look at it all the time, because that also helps. Make a visual representation, let's say your end goal is or the purpose of this living well is you want to take a vacation around the world, right? Mm-hmm. Put a picture of yourself vacationing in all these different places and look at that visual representation, because that's just another way to keep your eye on the prize. Figure out, write your motto, put your goals out there, get excited about where you're going, because that's going to get you there. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, having yourself enjoy the journey versus just be upset that you're not there yet, right? I think that's important.
Oh, absolutely. And again, and I'm not saying all your goals should be easy. Mm-hmm. I'm just saying you should not kick yourself for not achieving them, because you're human. Mm-hmm. We're all human. And I have another rule / tip I call the 5 of 7 rule, mm-hmm. which is, there are some people who say you should do something every day and keeps the rhythm, etc., whatever you're working on. And I think in a lot of ways that's just setting you up for failure, because it's not possible.
Life happens.
if you can do it, awesome. I'm thrilled for you. But this is what happens. Let's say you make the goal of, I am going to, for 15 minutes every day, work out. Mm-hmm. Really easy goal, right? Mm-hmm. Well, you miss Monday. So you're like, that's okay. I'll make it up on Tuesday. I'll do a half an hour on Tuesday. Well, Tuesday, life happens again. And you're at 45 minutes for Wednesday. And if you didn't have 15 minutes, you certainly don't have 45 minutes.
Right.
Forgive yourself for the days that you miss. Try and do 5 of 7. If you can only do 4 of 7, fine. Figure out what is manageable so you set yourself up for success. I keep repeating myself, but clearly I feel very strongly about this, because I want the people listening to be successful. I want me to be successful. I play by my own rules. Mm-hmm. Every single thing I tell people to do, I practice as well.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. I'm always trying to get people. I think, I was mentioning that I have this program. It's a Drop 2 Sizes challenge, and I've had clients go through it that I've worked with one-on-one for years, and just being in that small group program helped them out a lot. And one thing is that every week we're saying, what is the one thing you're going to focus on this week? It could be something small, but you have to be able to commit to working on it. That's going to just bring you to that next step. And
Mm-hmm.
Totally agree. I've seen it in action.
Mm-hmm.
Makes a huge difference.
And it does. And so I have now Right On Online, I've been running for years. It was a live group, and then in 2008 became a blog, and social media came out, which is wonderful. So that's why it's a live and virtual group. But there's a Facebook page and a Facebook group. And at the beginning of the week, it's post your goals for the week. And at the end of the week, it's how did you do?
Mm-hmm.
And for the longest time, it was, I'd have a lot of people would post goals at the beginning of the week and not report, or they wouldn't post goals and then they'd report at the end of the week. And I think lately, there have been a lot more people posting goals at the beginning of the week, and many of them do circle back, which is great. And then in the group, I have people say, I'll be very happy if I accomplish blank this month, and fill in the blank.
Mm-hmm.
So there are different ways, because if you tell people what you're doing, you're more likely to accomplish it. And the other thing is, if the people around you are achieving, you're more likely to achieve it as well.
Oh, I love that. Yeah, being part of the community. So that's actually a good
Mm-hmm.
segue to tell people about your community and how they can join and all that good stuff. Where can people find you, Deb, if they want to continue the conversation and get some help with their goals? Whether they're, I'm sure, are you open to helping people with fitness goals, or
Oh, absolutely. Well, I think personal and professional goals go hand in hand.
Mm-hmm.
The things that you do in your professional life are going to enhance your personal life. The goals that you set in your personal life are going to make your professional life better. So yeah, absolutely. The people who usually come to me are ones who've been trying for a long time to get something done, and they need someone to hold them to task.
Mm-hmm.
And then I also lead a lot of workshops for people who want to come up with a plan. And I love it. I do a lot of workshops in January, but I've been lately scheduling more throughout the year, because goal setting isn't just for January.
Right. No, for sure.
It's a constant process of figuring out what you want, and sure, you should go on a path for a while and commit to it. And then if you have to readjust after a few months, you readjust. But life is constant adjustment. So why shouldn't your goals be? So I digress. You asked where people can find me.
It's good. I love it. No, it's good.
Okay, so they can learn more about the Deb Method at thedebmethod.com. And it's the DEBMETHOD, obviously. And there's also a Facebook page and a Twitter and an Instagram, which is all at the Deb Method.
Awesome.
And then rightononline.com is my website and community for writers, creatives, and entrepreneurs.
Awesome.
And there's a Facebook page, which is facebook.com/rightononline, and a group, facebook.com/groups/rightononline,
awesome.
as well as, yep, I'm all about the branding. And you can also find Right On Online on Instagram and Twitter. And also I have a Twitter chat, which is new this year, called Goal Chat.
Love it.
So GOAL chat. And the profile is Goal Chat, but the hashtag, and so is the hashtag.
Okay,
so you can also follow that as well. And if people want reminders, just tweet to me, and I send out a reminder on Saturday and then Sunday afternoon. And that covers professional and personal goals. We just did one on passion projects. That was last week's chat. And coming up this week is YouTube. And then the first chat of the month, we talk about goals for the month. So all sorts of resources to help people figure out their plans. And if people need a little extra help, they come to me and I can help them with their projects and get them going.
Awesome. I love it. So hopefully we'll have lots of books out there. And I know I do have a fair number of entrepreneurs who listen to the show, because that's kind of like who I hang out with. And I'm always telling them that they should write a book. So if they have one in them, so we'll have to have them. I'll have to see who takes us up on the tips and gets the book out there.
Well, and actually my specialty is working with entrepreneurs who want to write books, because they have so much knowledge that they want to share, but sometimes they need a little bit of help. getting it out of their health and organized and out to the universe.
Yep.
So, and also feel free to just email me directly. It's deckerling@gmail.com.
Awesome.
So you can find me pretty much anywhere.
I love it. Well, thank you so much, Deb. I'm really excited to have the listeners implement your tips and be able to take action towards their fitness or personal goals. And I appreciate you being on the podcast.
And thank you so much for having me. Because I could talk about goals for literally hours. So obviously, and it sounds like you love them as much as I do.
I do.
Such a pleasure.
Yeah.
So thank you so much for having me.
Oh, you're welcome, Deb.
Thanks for listening to the Fit 15. For show notes and more, visit fitarmadillo.com/podcast. See you next time.